I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. Mark, the controversial Christian here. Another beautiful day here in Tennessee. Supposed to be 80 today. Excuse me. They're talking about record highs. I think they said the record high was 87 on this day. So we'll see. But it's pretty nice out there right now. I had the dogs out this morning. It was probably in the 60s anyways. All right, today is the 6th day of April. I have to double check there and make sure. 2021. Today we're going to continue on. We're going to talk a little bit about being a dabbler, indecisive. Here's our opening prayer. O glorious resurrection, God of Abraham and all our fathers, and all the centuries during which the believers have placed their hope in thee, none has ever been deceived. Therefore, my hope also is in thee. Amen. It's kind of a short one. Short and sweet. That's how we like it. Short and sweet. Because it depends on what it is. Today's reading is going to be about faith and funds. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness, the power, and the glory, the victory, and the majesty, for all that is in heaven and in earth is yours. Hey. During the Great Recession that began in 2008, the government injected massive amounts of money or credit into the economy in hopes of jump-starting a recovery, same as they're doing today with this COVID relief. The average citizen wondered, if the government is in debt, where does it get all this new stimulus money? Since ordinary citizens could not create new money, the government stimulus packages were confusing to many. Where did this new money come from? While the technical answer to that question involves the Federal Reserve extending new lines of credit to member banks, there is a spiritual application to be gleaned. However the money was created, measured, or accounted for, God owned it all. The Christian hope should never ultimately be in the government's ability to change the money supply. Our hope is in the one who accomplishes his purpose on the earth through establishing and removing kings and their policies. After all, Jesus said we cannot serve both God and money. When we serve God, we put our trust for everything, including the money needed to live, in Him alone. In the battle of faith, money is usually the last stronghold to fall. Yeah. Ron Dunn said that. All right. Now, get yourself a little bit of an education, because having a good financial or a good educational foundation is good, especially to be prosperous in life. God wants us to be prosperous. He wants us to learn. So, you should get at least 1 to 2 years of studies, preferably an associate's degree. Just follow my page. We've got ChristianLeadersInstitute.org. I'll leave a link on my website to that. You can get an associate's degree on like $2,500. You can even make payments on it. You can even just get like certificate for, business like that. Learn about business. Learn about money. Learn about how to be financially independent. Don't rely on the government. The government only cares about the government and their policies. They don't actually what the government is really doing. I've seen Charles Barkley, he had a quote on there yesterday, something like, there's Democrats and there's Republicans, and the Democrats and the Republicans are working to have all the races, bickering amongst one another's and fighting amongst one another. That's what they do. So they can control the money. That takes our eyes off the money and, what's really going on. Is if they can create chaos amongst the people, and that's how they can control us. Well, don't let them do it, because that's exactly what's happening. They're trying to make, all these chaos. They're taking the spotlight off of them. You don't hear anything more about Andrew Cuomo now, because they've taken the spotlight off him and it's on somewhere else now. Now it's on the border. They created chaos at the border to take everything off of Andrew Cuomo. That's how they do it. That's how they deceive us. If something's happening that they caused, they'll take the focus off of that and create something new to put the focus on. Just like when Donald Trump was in office. They created chaos to take the focus off of them and put it on him. Hey, John. That's how politicians manipulate us. They take the focus off of them and they put it out, they create chaos amongst the people, and that's how they control the money and they control they control our lives. That's how they do it. People don't realize that that's how they trick us into doing things. All right, I got a little off track there, but back to, get yourself an education. 99.9% of the people that are successful have an education. A lot of them have master's degrees and doctorates. But even a 2-year degree or, some kind of a certificate for business, something that will help you prosper. I know when I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to be. That was in the 70s, it was party time. We grew our hair, we smoked pot, we drank beer, we chased girls. That's how we did it back then. I signed up to go into the Army. I never went. I backed out of that. I did something. I got hired at the local factory making union wages, so I didn't go into the Army, which I should have, but, that's another thing right there you can do. When you get out of school, get out of high school, join the military. Take a 2-year tour in the military. You'll get a free education, and you'll learn a lot about life. The military is a good place to start, really. And if you don't want to go in the military, go to an online school. You can work a job and go to school part-time. 2 or 3 years, you'll get a good education. You have a good foundation. But a lot of people are indecisive, especially me. Don't be a mark. You got to decide what you want to do. I mean, my whole life I've been, I'm going to do this and I want to do everything. I was a truck driver over the road. I did carpentry work. I was a painter. I did pressure washing. I had a cleaning business. I had a secondhand store. I had restaurants. I've even cleaned toilets. I had this little business where I went around cleaning these toilets in these convenience stores. That was a nasty job, and really wasn't that great either. This guy that was my boss, he finally fired me because, they wanted me to start at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning cleaning these. I don't want to get up that early. That's too early. Most people don't want to get up that early. He said, well, you got to get here earlier. I said, I don't want to get up that early. Cleaning toilets is not, my highlight of getting up that early in the morning. So, well, then we can't use you anymore. Then I moved on to something else. When you get out of school, high school, kind of think of what it is that you really want to accomplish in your life. Being indecisive, it's kind of something, I call it being a dabbler. Some people just have Actually, if you think like that, you're actually very intelligent because, your mind is thinking of all these things. I think a lot of inventors are like that, that they just can't decide. So they work on all these projects and everything. Like Thomas Edison, look at all the things he invented. I mean, the photograph, the light bulb it's mind boggling. Their mind is constantly thinking. Like Bill Gates, the computer, I mean, he probably stuck, but he had, all these things in his mind. Well, we got, how do you do this on the computer? How do you do that? And how do you make this work and that? And a web page. And, it's mind boggling some of the things that people come up with. But you gotta think of what you want to do. If you want to do a little bit of everything, then, study something and then work that, and then, study something else on the side while you're working that. Don't be like, like I do, man. I'm crazy. I'll do it. If I think I can make money at it, fast, quick money at it, I'll do it. And then when I don't make the money at it, then I'll go on to something else because I don't really, put forth a lot of the effort to be successful with it. I was just looking for the quick buck. I'm a little bit better now, but it's just, I still, I joined this network marketing company because there isn't money in network marketing, but it takes you so long to get to where and then you got, you get the retention, they've got these courses online that says, well, if you study my course, I'll show you how to get 3 to 4 people in your business every day and like that. But the thing is, excuse me, not everybody is wired the same. And if they're getting 3 or 4 people in there, you might only get one person a month or one person a week or whatever. What works for them might not work for you, because everybody goes about things different. So you've got to be comfortable with what you're doing. What I do is I'll take this little course and that little course and like that, and then I'll put everything together and try to make my own thing out of it. That's what you got to do. You got to have your own thing. Right now years ago I've tried a little website business. I had a few clients. I found that websites were a little harder back then. This is probably 10 or 15 years ago. Websites were a little harder to do then because they didn't have all these extra tools that you can do, like WordPress. That's what I like to do now, WordPress. They've got all these plugins and everything. It's still very challenging. But I like to do that. Plus, I've got a marketing platform, autoresponder, that I use. It's kind of like an under-the-radar one that's very inexpensive. A lot of people don't know about it. So they're using these high-dollar ones, They've got these ones that the more sign-ups you get, the more they charge you every month. Well, the thing is I've got my autoresponder, I get a lot of people that have these, disposable email addresses. When you get all these people signing up with the disposable email addresses, it's costing you money. So you're the only ones that's making any money is the autoresponder company. Or if you've got an autoresponder, I call it a marketing platform, where, you get unlimited signups. It don't matter how many people you get, then you don't have to worry about that. If you've got people that are unresponsive, then it doesn't really matter because it doesn't cost you any more money. My suggestion is to get this, yes, I am promoting this because I would think it's really good. I have a link to that on my website too for that. It's called GMP. It's really a good system. But you got to think of what you're going to do, because right now, I'm focusing back on the websites and domains. Domains names are really big now. And there's so many domain names available that expire and like that. And there's a lot of good ones out there too. And the market's not saturated and never will be saturated because there's just so many domain names. You know, a lot of people look for these domain names and they'll try to sell them for $10 or $15 or $20,000 like that. Don't waste your time. There's just so few of them. What I concentrate on is I concentrate on domain names where I can buy it and I'll build a website with it and sell it for, $2 or $3, $4 or $500. They'll sell a lot faster, and you can also sell people, monthly maintenance on them too. And you got yourself a nice little business right there. If you need any help with that, just let me know. That's what I like to do. As indecisive as I am, I'm kind of focusing a lot of my stuff on that and, preaching like I do now on this video. I preach the word of Jesus. Because we all need Jesus as our backbone, our foundation. And without him, without God, you're walking around with blindfolds on. You're just going to start running into everything. You need someone to guide you. Think about that. Now tomorrow we'll go a little further into, how to success and, how to set yourself on the right path. Education is number one. Well, actually, education is number two. Jesus is number one. Let me correct that. You need a good biblical foundation along with a good solid financial foundation. Education and finance go together. And I know a lot of indecisiveness is like that. I'm like that too. There's a lot of us like that. And that's why I'm trying to help people to focus a little bit more on their future instead of bing, bang, boom, 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 boom. It's great. I mean, it's something it's crazy. It happens to me, I'll be webinars, man. I sign up for these webinars all the time. It's just crazy. I mean, I'll get a little information out of them, but 99.9% of the time, most of them, I went to one a few days ago, and this guy gets right into the stuff, just like that. Boom. So I got a little bit out of that. I think I was with him maybe half an hour or so. I got enough to where I needed. But a lot of these webinars, 99.9% of them, the first 30 minutes or so, they'll talk about how much money they're making and how many vacations they take and how great everything is for them like that. But like I said before, what works for them may not work for you. But I tell you what will work for you is a good biblical foundation and education. Once you have a good education and you're a godly person, the sky's the limit. You can do anything in life. You just set your mind to it. Even if you're a little indecisive, try a few things, see what works for you. That's all. That's all I can tell you. Try a few things, see what works for you. But always keep this book right here, number one. Number one focus right there. All right, let's do our closing prayer. And then I've got work to do. I got to finish up. I'm remodeling my bathroom. It's a lot of work, let me tell you. Here's our closing prayer. At the Lamb's high feast we sing, praise to our victorious King, who hath washed us in the tide flowing from his pierced side. Mighty victim from the sky, hell's fierce powers beneath thee lie. Thou hast conquered in the fight, thou hast brought us life and light. No more can death appall, now no more can grave enthrall. Thou hast opened paradise, and in thee thy saints shall rise. Paschal triumph, paschal joy. Sin alone can this destroy. From sin's power do thou set free, souls newborn, O Lord, in thee. Hymns of glory, songs of praise, Father, unto thee we raise. Risen Lord, all praise to thee, with the spirits ever be. Amen. Amen, everybody. Start on your journey to a good biblical and educational foundation. You will not be sorry. Your life will be so much better. Don't rely on the government, and don't listen to other people when they say, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. Yes, you can. You can do anything you want to. Naysayers, don't never take financial advice from a broke person. And don't never take religious advice from an atheist. That's my closing thought right there. Everybody have a blessed day. Mark, the controversial Christian, I'm signing off for today.